My friends, what is going on? It is good to see you for yet another video. And as we know, when Donald Trump came into office, for some reason, he started a war against Canada. Starting with, we are going to put tariffs on Canadian products, and then escalated to, we are going to turn Canada into the 51st state, which you can imagine pissed a lot of people off. They said, what the hell is he talking about? He's going to turn us into the 51st state. And Donald Trump has continued to escalate this for the most part, and obviously has pissed off a lot of Canadians. My friends, instead of hearing it from me today about what I have to say about it, I have decided that you are going to hear from a Canadian today about all this absolute nonsense from Donald Trump. I bring to you my friend, Guard the Leaf. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on?
Hey, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for finally coming to join me, even though it's my fault. Thanks for finally coming to join me.
It's all good, man. You have the busier schedule than I do, and you're driving around all over the place. So I'm very thankful to be able to speak with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't really know where to start. I believe that it started this whole issue between the United States and Canada because of the tariffs was the original starting point. Let's talk about that real quick, because I hear from obviously a lot of Trump supporters that they try to justify the tariffs. And don't worry, my friends, we're going to get into the bullshit in a minute, but I want to start at the starting point. A lot of people in America say, well, it's only right because Canada's been mistreating us for a long time when it comes to trade. What do you think of that statement? Because we hear that a lot.
I mean, I don't think that the tariffs, from a Canadian point of view, right? I mean, I think it's a lot of misinformation, right? I mean, when Donald Trump is saying that all these other countries are not treating the U.S. Fairly, is that factual? Probably not, right? And, I think there's been decades and generations of cooperation between our countries. And from my point of view, if there was something wrong, why was there never anything brought up about it before? Only when Donald Trump decides to speak up and put out fake news or whatever, that's when it becomes an issue. So
Right.
I think tariffs, I mean, the for me personally, the rhetoric is obviously the big thing, right? And for his first term, when was his first term? It was at 2017 to 2021 or something like that, right? Or
Sounds about right. Yeah.
whenever it was. Yeah. I don't think that upset a lot of Canadians. I mean, I was still traveling to the U.S. I was still going to Hawaii, California, Las Vegas. And yeah, it happened, but it wasn't the deal breaker. And, the deal breaker for me, I speak for myself. I don't want to piss off any Canadians, who say, oh, you don't speak for me or whatever. But for me, the deal breaker was when he threatened our country. And that happened, obviously, I think just before he got inaugurated. I think that's when we started hearing about it. And once he was in office, he doubled down on it. And that was something that really pissed off a lot of Canadians. So, if you ask me about the tariffs, if it just is just my opinion, but if the 51st state rhetoric didn't happen and the whole MAGA dorks, as you call them, did jump on board with it, I would probably have a little bit of a different perspective on it, right? Because tariffs, it's a financial thing. It's not a threat to our country. It's not taking over Canada or British Columbia or Alberta or Saskatchewan or anywhere else. I think that really crossed the line for everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're to answer your original question on the tariffs, I don't think it was that big of an, it obviously is an issue, but it wasn't the issue that crossed the line.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you. And I promise you we'll get into that 51st state bullshit also.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to start at the beginning with this entire escalation that's been going on. And one of the things that kind of sticks out to me, I think you guys changed the name up there, but we were calling it the USMCA. I think y'all changed it to maybe Kuzma. Is that a different agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the agreement that Donald Trump came up with, or his administration in his first term, that he referred to as the greatest deal in history.
Right.
And he wants that to go away now.
Yeah. I mean, you create a deal and then all of a sudden you say it's bad. I mean, it's part of, I mean, from a Canadian point of view and my point of view, it's something where if you're going to create a deal, and I believe that was in his first term, but now you're backing out of it, what are we supposed to do, right? I mean, it's something like Canada has not changed anything. We're going by the deal that you created. So what is it that you want from Canada to do, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and that it's that sort of thing that is a point that I've hammered on over and over on my channel is
Hmm.
how can we be perceived as a reliable trading partner
Yeah.
when we're ripping up our own fucking deals and
Yeah.
saying that this is referring to that USMCA. How do you say that Canada's been ripping us off when supposedly the greatest steelmaker in the world made the fucking thing? You know,
Right.
and you know what? That's all the time I'm going to take up with that because you're right. You are 100% right. Out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere, Donald Trump started talking about we're going to turn Canada into the 51st state. My opinion on that is because both Melania and Ivanka wanted to fuck Justin Trudeau, and that's what got him pissed in the first place.
Yeah.
But like, where do you think that even came from? What even brought on that idea?
I like your idea. I mean, on a funny part, it kind of makes sense, but I I really don't know. I mean, as a Canadian, I kind of step back and look, as has all these years and decades and generations of friendship that we had, does that does it go out the window with just one person? And I feel that it's probably the resources we have. Maybe it's the minerals, it's the resources and everything that we have that he actually wants. I mean, I
Mm,
really don't know where it comes from, right? But as a Canadian, when you hear that, we're not just gonna sit back and just let it happen, right? And I feel that it, it it's it might have been a joke.
mhm,
Some people might still feel it's a joke, but
mm,
there are signs that there is um, legitimate plans to actually take over, Canada or Greenland or Panama.
mhm, mhm.
And I think a lot of Canadians, there are probably some Canadians that just say, "Oh, whatever," right? He's just Donald Trump talking.
Mhm,
For
mhm,
me personally, when your country is being threatened, whether it's a joke or not, or whether it's real, I take it seriously. And that's actually the whole reason I started this channel or my channel.
mhm,
And, I feel that as time goes by, the friendship and the trust on a daily basis is being severed even more. Um, Now, I want to make it clear to your viewers that, yes, Canada, we are standing up for ourselves, but we also know that we have allies in the US as well.
mhm,
I see you as a friend and you're based in the US. And I wish for your safety in the US. And I know a lot of my viewers do as well. I also have family and friends in the US, and I don't wish them ill will or anything. I actually also wish for their safety, as well as all the other US citizens that do not, how do I say it, do not agree with what your administration is doing.
mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a huge portion of us that don't agree with this shit at all.
Mhm.
That's how so many Canadians found me. I didn't know that was going to happen
Yeah.
when I covered Donald Trump's bullshit towards Canada. It was quite an adjustment for me. I'll be honest,
Yeah.
because I had to kind of step back and just read the fucking comments instead of like take it personally, like, oh, this person's just being condescending and trying to correct me, is how I
Mhm.
first was taking things. I'm like, they're trying to explain to me so that I understand better what's going on.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
but
a funny story. I mean, when I first
Mhm.
started my YouTube channel, it was really calling out the US media, right? And
Mhm.
calling out the bullshit that they're narrating to the US citizens. But
Mhm.
then I found your video and I watched it, and I'll be honest with you, I thought the video would be censored and, you know, I don't want to say pro USA or whatever, but when I watched it, I was like, wow, this guy really understands. And this guy understands that, hey, Canada is really just sticking up for themselves, right? And
Mhm.
that's when I did a video I did a reaction video to your video, and I couldn't disagree with anything that you said. And it was actually refreshing to have a US content creator say it how it is. And, everybody knows, I love the F bombs and saying, everything else. And I was just like, wow, this guy really gets it. So that's why I really had to reach out to you on Blue Sky and say, hey, well done on that video.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I am actually very much pro USA. A lot of Americans got that confused. They don't know what that fucking means. I'm sick to death of listening to people claim to be patriots while their loyalty is to one man instead of the entire fucking country. That shit drives me nuts. So yeah, I'm 100% pro USA. I would like to see us do better. That's why I get so goddamn mad when I see Donald Trump doing yet another destructive thing that is like, well, how does this improve the situation? By continuing to isolate us from the rest of the world. I don't see. And to your point about the media, it's fucking horrifying. The things that pass as news in this country anymore is they just sit there and they lie to your face about what's going on, and then people just eat that shit up. Like how you said that maybe Donald Trump's 51st state rhetoric was just a joke. It's entirely possible that he was just kind of busting Justin Trudeau's balls a little bit. But then when all the people that believe the bullshit that comes out of his mouth rallied around him and said, fuck yeah, let's go get Canada, he was like, oh yeah, this is another thing my followers like. I'm just going to keep fucking running with it. And it's not always Donald Trump necessarily that's dangerous. It's all the people that follow Donald Trump. It's that Donald Trump assembled a cabinet of people that are loyal to Donald Trump. That's where the real danger comes from. But I know I got a little long-winded there. I apologize. But
no, you're correct on that. I mean, one of the things too. I mean, I did a video on that Maine state senator who sent us a letter, basically telling us with the instructions on how to join the U.S. Right, and I don't think that letter would have been sent unless Donald Trump. I mean, it basically stems from Donald Trump's 51st rhetoric, right? So
yeah, 100%.
If a state senator, I don't know what his position is, but if he's capable of sending that and thinking that way, then there's 77 million probably also thinking the same way as well, right?
Right. And yeah, I also covered that video. And what was that fucker's name? Do you remember?
It's something Martin. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, who cares? Fuck him.
Yeah.
But no, that's exactly what happens. I would anticipate that it's possible that the guy is planning to run for whatever you call it, the nationwide offices, the Senate, the Congress, something like that. And I think that he probably thought, hey, if I do this bullshit, I could get in Donald Trump's good graces and get his endorsement going into that next election. And so why not threaten an entire fucking country to get an endorsement in a race? So that's the way we think around here,
Yeah.
And
I suspect that's what he was doing.
Yeah, I've always thought about that. Like, just hypothetical. I would never suggest we take over Canada, right? But to me, it doesn't even make any sense if they were to do that, and if elections were still intact, because then next thing you know, we'd have like gun control over here and like healthcare and shit like that, because people would most likely vote for shit like that. But they are trying to get rid of the election, so my whole point doesn't really fucking matter, I guess.
Yeah, I worry for your country about that, because it looks like the midterms are being screwed. Well, I don't know, screwed, but like manipulated, I guess.
Yeah, both of those work. But we had the thing with Texas where they gerrymandered it, and it is either Missouri or Indiana that will be voting on that also. And unfortunately, in most Democrat-led states, we do things. The blue states do things the fucking right way, by the book, the legal way. So while the Republicans don't play by any kind of rules, a lot of the Democrats are like, my hands are tied. I can't do anything about this because I'm still following the law, right? And which is the opposite of what Texas did. They just redistricted in the middle of a decade, which they're not supposed to fucking do. Not supposed to do. But Yeah, shit. I'm not sure on my next question. My brain goes blank, as you know. But yeah, let's talk about sort of the tourism, the fuck, I'm having a moment here.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of the general opinion towards tourism in America. And not I don't want to look at it as a way, as you guys are like, just we're going to punish Americans. But maybe that's the reason. I don't know. But tourism has obviously taken a huge hit
Mhm.
in America because of Canadian tourists, which is shocking. We didn't see that coming either, apparently. What's the general, obviously not speaking for everyone, but what's the
Yeah.
general opinion on visiting America at this point?
I mean, if I base it off my viewers and the comments that I'm seeing,
Mm,
there's definitely a big movement just to boycott at all, like no, at all costs. I mean,
mm,
I've done a video where I displayed all the comments from my viewers, and people are saying like, "Oh, I used to go to Florida. They would have went down every time, every year, and every
mm,
time we went, it would have been like $5,000 or $10,000 spent in Florida, and now I'm going to Europe instead." You got people saying, "Oh, I used to be a snowbird. I sold my apartment and or my place, and I now bought a place in Spain." Right. So there's definitely a big movement, and what I feel is that the U.S. tourism officials and government officials, I actually don't think they realize how much Canadians contributed to the U.S. economy.
yeah,
And
they didn't know.
yeah, and like say for example, you have the snowbirds, and that's the next thing I'm actually anticipating and waiting for is the reports saying, hey, the snowbirds, they didn't come back. What happened, right? Well, obviously we know what happened, but I think that's going to have a bigger impact because summer season is gone. And now we're starting to see reports. Yeah, the summer boom never happened, right?
Mm,
But when the snowbirds come down, and I think that usually starts around October, November, the US, I mean, if I say Florida and Arizona, I believe those are the two biggest states that have snowbirds.
mm,
They're used to having us Canadians and even international tourists go to their state for months. And when I say months, it could be anywhere from like November all the way up until March.
mm,
During that time, these snowbirds are spending anywhere from like 10,000, well, maybe more than that, but they're spending anywhere from 20,000 to 50,000 into your local economy, whether it's
mm,
restaurants or hospitality, whatever, right? They're just putting money into your economy.
mm,
And I think that is going to be the next big thing that is going to be missing and is going to be the biggest impact to these snowbird states because you'll most likely see more restaurants close down, more hotels with zero vacancies or um, landlords that don't have the snowbirds for those 5 or 6 months.
mm,
And even I think this is um, going under the radar. And personally, I feel that's going to be the next big thing that the U.S. media is going to be talking about is where are the snowbirds, right?
mm, yeah.
Um, but if we're talking about day to day, regular Canadians and even international tourists, the sentiment is that they don't want to visit, at least for Canadians, they don't want to visit because one, we are insulted
Mm,
with the 51st state rhetoric, but two, it's also the safety, right? And when you
yeah.
have ICE and you have CBP being pricks at the border, who would want to deal with that, right? And
Right.
yeah, I had some friends go to Las Vegas in May. They went for an event. Actually, I think it was June or May, something around there. And I was actually supposed to go with them. But
Mm,
one of the things that happened is when you go to Las Vegas from international airport in Canada, you go through something which is called pre-clearance. So instead of going through your CBP when we land in Las Vegas, we do it at the Vancouver airport or the
mm,
Toronto airport or whatever else. So we're actually talking to a CBP guard in our airport on Canadian soil.
mm,
And what happened was that one of my friends actually got pulled in and she has a Nexus and everything's fine. And every other time it's been routine and it usually takes less than 5 seconds to deal with CBP.
mm,
But this time around, and this is the first time that she went during Trump's Trump's term, she was pulled in and everything was searched.
Hmm.
Um, Now, some people might say, "Oh, well, maybe because you're going to Las Vegas," but no, there was about 50 people in secondary being searched, and some of them, were all different ages, anywhere from I would say 20 all the way up to 60 or 70, just being searched for no reason, right?
Hmm.
Um, so that kind of stuff is happening, and it's just like, why would we want to risk having our phone searched or our luggage searched or whatever else just to continue going to the US? Now, I know it's not everybody, but on my channel, what I always say is that it's probably like 9 out of 10 or 19 out of 20 would get through no problem. But
Hmm.
the ratio is higher where, they may check your stuff. And I don't want to be that one guy. But, at the
Yeah.
same time as well, we got to be careful what we have on our phones. If you have a JD Vance meme
Hmm.
on your phone, that might get you in trouble, right? Or if you have beliefs on the current administration, that might get you in trouble as well. So
Hmm.
it's also why I
Yeah.
stay anonymous, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
JD Vance is a whiny little bitch, that guy.
yeah,
Yeah, I just did a quick Google search, and this was, yeah, today. I don't know if it's a reliable source, but it says nearly 150 Canadians held in ICE custody this year.
yep,
So yeah, you're trying to go out to enjoy a fucking vacation, and these guys show up.
yep,
They throw you in. I don't know what they're doing now. I don't know what happened to Alligator Alcatraz. Like it was ordered closed and then it was appealed. I don't know. Maybe you know more
hmm,
about that than I do. But I mean, for a while we were just shipping people off to El Salvador, no due process, no nothing.
hmm,
And yeah, there have been cases of obviously people all over the world being detained by ICE in the case of the Hyundai plant in Georgia.
yep, yep,
But yeah, you're just planning the vacation, and that's sort of the point I was kind of wanting to get
yeah.
to. Is it more about like revenge on America, which is an acceptable answer, or is
You
it
know,
more about we don't want to be fucking thrown in a concentration camp?
I think it's all of the above, right? I
Fair
mean,
enough.
for me personally, there is a bit of revenge on it, right? I mean,
Mhm.
if your country is threatened and you have 77 million people that are following this threat and doubling down on it, why would I have to ask myself, why would I want to support their economy?
Mhm.
So it is a bit of a revenge thing, but at the same time as well, it's also a safety thing too,
Right. Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, both could be true. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. And
yeah,
that is, obviously a thing to worry about. We're seeing people in America that are here legally.
hmm,
They're just going to work, doing their jobs. And
hmm.
they get shipped off to El Salvador and the Trump regime will Photoshop fucking what do they Photoshop on the guy's
Oh, it was on
knuckles.
the knuckles, I think.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that shit wasn't even Photoshop. That was Microsoft Paint. It was bad, bad,
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
And like Donald Trump went out there and touted it as fact, and it's
yeah.
MS-13. Said he's MS-13. Then the
Uh-huh.
guy ended up coming back to America, where I don't know if they have deported him again or they plan to deport him again, but they're calling him like a human trafficker, and he was just a dude trying to do his fucking job, just trying to
Yeah,
take care of his family,
yeah,
and yeah, I'd stay the fuck out of here too. If I were
yeah.
you, I'd stay over there
I
for
mean, I
sure.
think the latest thing with the Hyundai plant. I
Hmm.
mean, those guys were going to your country to help train, um, the locals to build batteries, and
Hmm.
all it took was for one MAGA woman to start all of this, right? So, as a tourist, I mean, I guess the chances are slim that maybe if I go to a trip to Disney World or something, and
Hmm.
someone might have the same name as me, then they might mistake me, right? It is a possibility, right?
Hmm.
But it's more, I think the sentiment is, why would we want to risk that when there's lots of other places around the world we can visit? We can go to Mexico, we can go to Europe, we can go to Southeast
Right.
Asia, and not have to deal with um the I don't know what to call it, the
Bullshit.
yeah, the bullshit at the border, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with CBP's attitude and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I've gone to Vietnam, I've gone to China, and I've traveled all over, and ne- anytime you go to these quote unquote communist countries, I've never been questioned like what is happening right now with the US. It's just you don't want to be scared to go into a country to go on vacation. That's what it is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you brought up a good point there about how, people all over the world can just go somewhere else. That's
Yep.
basically where we're at. You see, here in the United States, we are basically raised to believe we're the center of the universe. We're the
Yep.
greatest country on earth. Everybody wants what we got going on. And I really believe that Donald Trump and the MAGA movement believe that to be true. So they start saying, well, we're going to put tariffs on you, everybody. That's not just a Canadian thing, that.
Yeah.
It's just going after the whole world with tariffs. We're going to annex Greenland. We're going to turn Canada into the 51st state. We're going to go apparently recover the Panama Canal because it's our property. I don't fucking know. I suggested we just give Donald Trump a shovel and tell him that only somebody as strong as him could dig up the Panama Canal and give him something to do for the next 4 years,
Yeah.
But what I think an important lesson that the United States needs to learn right now is that we're not who we thought we were. We're not the center of the universe. The rest of the world can go do something else. And we're finding out in our economy, we're finding out that that's 100% true.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because I remember there was a report I did probably about a few months ago. There was a tourist official, I believe he was in Florida, either a tourist official or a business, basically stated that, oh, the Canadians, they'll come back. Where else are they going to go? We have the beaches, right? And to me, when I heard that, and I know a lot of people in my video comments as well, felt the same way, is like, you're not the center of the world. There's other beaches in the world that we can go to. There's other hot places, warmer climates that we can go to. So I know for a fact in that video that some people were pretty upset about that. And they said, you know what, this is probably my breaking point right here. I'm not going to visit the US ever again. So, it's definitely, I mean, I don't want to, bash your country, but yeah, there are people that feel that the US is the center of the world. Where else is anybody going to go? Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a
So,
stupid fucking statement. They have to come back because we have the beaches. Are you
yeah.
shitting me right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know where to start with that. Like, goddamn, open up a fucking map of the world and you could probably point to plenty of places with beaches. What are you talking about? It drives me nuts. That's the thing. I'm going to go off on a little side tangent, I guess, but that's the thing that drives me absolutely up the fucking wall is people that like take credit and take pride in a thing that like existed millions of years before them. And they're like, we have this. I go crazy when people, because I'm from Colorado, where we have pretty big mountains out here, and you get out east and people start going, they call these mountains out here. Shut up. You had nothing to do with the mountains or the beaches or any of that shit. And it's everywhere in the fucking world. So the idea that our economy is going to be fine because Florida has beaches, it's people like that that deserve what the fuck is coming to them at this point. Go broke, fucker. No one cares. No one cares.
Yeah. Because it's definitely a lot of my viewers who used to frequent Florida have mentioned in the comments that they're going elsewhere now. They're going to Mexico, Caribbean, Europe, Southeast Asia, and it's millions of dollars that is being lost to your economy, and that's why a lot of businesses are closing down. You see a lot of for lease signs, and hotels are at like very low vacancy. But the U.S. media, they're not reporting it, and they're kind of reporting that things are somewhat okay, but we're not stupid, right? So
the media is a fucking joke. It's just everything. Oh god, it drives me crazy because like so much of it is just an obvious, blatant lie about what is going on out there, and it's fine. I mean, eventually, I think here soon that we're going to find out that we needed these partnerships around the world, and we really aren't capable of doing all of this on our own for a number of fucking reasons. We'd be here all day just talking about those reasons. So with that said, we've gone on about a half hour. Is there anything you wanted to add to this or anything you wanted to discuss before we jump off?
Well, first off, I'm really grateful that you have time to be able to speak. I mean, it's been a long time coming, and I do hope to have more conversations with you in the future.
Sure.
And
Sure.
but one thing I do want to say is that, at least for me personally, I will look out for the safety of the U.S. citizens that I know. And, like I said, I have friends and family in the U.S. I worry about their safety. I worry about yours as well. And, we're rooting for you guys. And it's just a matter of, how is your country going to get out of this, right? And at least for the meantime, I think for me, I'm going to stay back. I'm going to, watch from afar, but I do support you and I do hope the best for your country moving forward.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. We're going to need all the support we can get because it will definitely. Uh, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
That's really all there is to it. I don't see it getting better for the foreseeable future. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on too, and definitely a good conversation. So
Yeah, we got to do
we'll
this
do it
more.
more in the future. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
if you ever come to Canada, let me know.
Yeah, I might be running for my life for Canada here pretty soon. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, we'll have a beer, but unfortunately, I'm not coming to your country. So.
Yep. No, completely understood, man. All right. I think we'll wrap it up. I appreciate you coming over to hang out with me, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. Not a problem. We'll see you guys next time. Love you guys. Bye now.
Thanks.